This is West Beach of the Plasmatics, and when I want to check out all things Kiss, I listen to Tom and Zeus on the Shout It Out Loudcast.
That's right. Another episode of Dorm Damage, the show where anything and everything is on the table and the table gets smashed. This time, we are talking about the state of music, streaming, vinyl, CDs, where we stand, what we think about all of it. Ain't that right, Zeus?
Yes, sir. And good morning.
Did you just say yes?
Yes.
Good morning.
Yeah,
I have I have a stack of CDs, and I want to talk to them about them.
I have to talk to you about the CDs I have. Yeah, so we are doing an episode because this came about from our little conversation we had in the cruise.
Yep.
I think I posted a picture of a CD I bought. It was Todd Kearns at the merch on the Kiss cruise.
Yep.
And so while on the cruise, I got this CD. Thanks to Todd's wife, who's like, "Oh, you should get this. This is limited edition or something." And it's like a lot of acoustic stuff. Great job, Todd Kearns. It's like a solo CD, whatever. So I picked it up. I came back to the room, was talking to you guys about it.
Yep.
Me and you just got into a discussion, and it's a back and forth. So when people hear us, they think like how when they hear my family, what the fuck's going on? Who's fucking killing themselves? Like, what are you talking about? I just said hello to my mom. It sounded like fucking World War III. And they're like, no.
Because the two loudest people in one room talking about a topic sounds like, if in anybody else's world, it's probably a fight.
Yeah, it's like, no, we just had a heated debate.
Yeah.
And that's how we are. And then it came up to be, and this is a discussion. I'm like, you know what? We should record this and do an episode on it. Yeah. And so I look at it as like, I buy this CD. I want to buy the CD in my head because it's, more money in Todd's pocket. And I'm not a big Spotify fan. I'm not a big Apple Music fan. I'm not a big into streaming. That's just me. I like the physical copy. I will say you are the same, but you like a different physical. You like vinyl. So I get that. And the only way I think of it is like, I would prefer if there never was a streaming service. If the only way people could buy music is the same old-fashioned way. And if they buy it, then they could put it on portable devices, on an iPhone or anything else, but you have to buy it. There's no streaming it and getting it for free and paying $10 a month and getting everybody's music for a catalog. That's how I see it. And I wish we could go back to this, but we can't. It's already out of the bottle. And everybody's streaming. You can't put it back in. The ketchup will not go back in. So what do? I know you have a different point of view of it on this stuff.
Yeah, you said it. Old fashioned. I mean. Let me ask you this: do you have Netflix? Yes,
I do.
Okay, so when you watch a movie on Netflix, aren't you taking money out of the pocket of those actors by not buying the Blu-ray at Target? I don't know. It's the same thing.
No, because
you're paying $14.99 a month for Netflix or $15.99 a month for Spotify or whatever. You're streaming something that you previously used to buy physical copies for.
No, because I would say this. When you look at movies were still getting rented in the 80s. You were still going, you're going to Blockbuster. And by the way, yes, I would prefer having the Blockbusters and things like that.
Oh, dear
where
God.
You could go there and physically look at it and be like,
missed it.
What's the Coca-Cola Kid?
Yeah,
oh, this cover looks interesting, and then you'd rent it.
Yeah, I miss that experience. I do. Yeah. I talk about that too, but I would never give up the ability to have billions of songs at your fingertips whenever you want them. I just can't. I would never give that up.
So let's take a step back. So we're talking about, like you said, okay, what about, for instance, movies? I don't believe that a movie that comes onto Netflix affects any Tom Cruise's revenue, because that movie, instead of going on to Netflix afterwards, would have went to HBO. No difference. People still buying movies. They're still putting them on DVD, Ultra, 4D, whatever, 4K, whatever the fuck they're calling it. And you'll still get a digital copy if you want to buy the DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. So I think physical are still there, but it's not hurting the artist. Tom Cruise and all the actors aren't like, fuck, I'm not making shit now because of streaming services. Versus music, where the artists are like, this is the thing that blows my mind. I could have like 10 million plays of a song and I made $400. That's fucking ridiculous. And because there's no often, like, so if you had 10 million plays because you were just on the radio, the radio had it set up before where artists were getting paid because of, radio play and things like that. There was a payment system set up for that. And then they would buy the physical copies, which they would get share. Now, mind you, they weren't making 90 cents on the dollar off those. They were probably making like not even half, because the record label and everybody else got a cut. So, but they were making money off it, and they could make good money off of selling albums. Now, if my shit becomes a hit on streaming services, I make nothing.
Well, see, that's the urban. That's. Do you know how much you if you streamed a song 10 million times? Do you know how much money you would make? You would make on average between $5,000 and $6,000 if you streamed 10 million on an average.
Okay, so instead of streaming 10 million, you sold 1 million or 2 million copies of your album. You don't think you'd be making more than fucking $5,000? I mean, think about it. $5,000 for a band of 5 people.
But when you buy a CD once. You buy that purchase, $15, let's say average $12, $15 for a CD. You buy that once. Okay, that's gone. That money's gone.
Yep.
When you say Kiss Destroyer, you buy Destroyer on CD, $15. Okay, that money's gone. Boom. I stream Destroyer. And millions of Kiss fans are streaming Destroyer. That money.
Yeah, but you're timing that by 2 million. Let's say you sell 2 million copies, double platinum. 2 million copies at $15 is a hell of a lot better than 0.00001 cent per 15 million plays.
But if you make playlists, if you make shuffles, if you make things, those songs are constantly pop up. A lot of times you buy a physical CD, you play it, because once you put it on your phone like you do, that's not streaming. You've downloaded music, so that's money spent. You know what I mean? Like, there are, now I know Taylor Swift is not a good example because she's like off the rails, like, okay, with Spotify. She gets 82 million monthly listeners.
Yep.
Now, okay, that's just a listener. That doesn't say how many streams. Okay, so just on that alone, she is making at minimum $4 million around a year. Now, that's not even including the amount of streams. That's just
sure, but I don't have no idea to contradict any of these numbers you're saying. From streaming, she makes $4 million.
I'm saying, and this is average numbers, but this is just based on the fact that 82 million people listen to her music. We have no idea how many times they're listening to her music. Now, again, Taylor Swift is a bad example because she's the elite of the elite, the regular bands. Okay. But I do think, and again, I'm not an expert. We're not experts on streaming and all this stuff. I'm just looking up some basic numbers on Google here. But I do think there is a little bit of an urban legend out there that bands are going broke from streaming. I know that they're not getting the money that they should be getting.
They're not making money.
I know that. Right. But they're also not. Look, we go to concerts. We went on the cruise. Okay. A lot of these bands are selling products. Okay. Look, a small band like Plush. Okay. I bought their vinyl because I wanted to support them. They're a good band. They're a young upcoming band. You bought Todd Kearns' CD. I bought Mindfield, the band that Todd Kearns is in.
Same here.
Physical product. I want to give, because those are smaller bands. With all due respect to Todd, he's not Taylor Swift. He's not Metallica. And we love Todd. Okay. Whether or not I stream Metallica or not isn't going to affect Lars's fucking wallet. You know what I mean? And a lot of times when I make my music choices, I know this might make me a bad person. In the back of my head, I'm not sitting there going, how is this going to fare for the artist? A smaller artist like Todd, like Plush, like Minefield, or like, okay, I'm like, these are small bands. I want to support them because I know that they're working hard and I know that they're not, Metallica or Ozzy.
Mm-hmm. So, we were laughing the other day because we were talking about like previous episode. I think we did soundtracks, and I think the band War. Why can't we be friends?
Yeah.
Why can't? To me, that's a good example of like, okay, I'll stream that song because I want to hear it, and I'm not buying a legacy act like War. I'll play the song. I'm not buying a legacy act like that's album.
Right.
But every person that's like that does that will cost them a shit ton of money. So the legacy acts out there that are trying to survive off that do those greatest hits albums you see now, they're not selling. And what do they have to do? You see them out there. People that look like they're on their deathbed are out touring because they need money and they're broke. And the other part to this, and the second part, which is I made a point to say to you was, hence you get the fucking average ticket prices of $150 to go see the Turtles play at fucking the Regent Theater in Arlington. Because they can't make their money elsewhere. So with the record money gone, and besides the other part to it too, which we haven't even gone into, we'll get to it later, is there's no record companies to support these acts. So they can't here's some money, go in that room, lock yourselves up, get creative, do a great album. Everything is like, what are we going to do? Are we going to tour or are we going to try to take our time and write an album? Well, we need to make money. So we got to get out there. So I think all of this affects them, especially our type of music, which is rock.
Right. By the way, War has 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Okay.
Shout it out, Loudcast may have 2 million listeners. Okay, we ain't fucking cracking.
I'm just laughing because I'm thinking War. Nobody listens to them, and I'm like, wait, what? But with the ticket prices thing, I don't really know. I mean, we especially Ticketmaster. I mean, I don't know how a place like the Colonial Theater or the Region.
That's one of our three things, right, Tom? We're going to change for every
ticket
politician.
Prices.
Ticket prices for movies, hotel prices,
airfare,
airline
travel.
Yeah,
right. But I don't know how much bands are jacking up tickets. I'm sure they have some control, but a lot of it is the venue fee, the production fee, the Ticketmaster fee, the convenience charge, the taxes, the surcharge. I mean, we talk about that all the time.
Let's say they don't, and Ticketmaster's the one doing most of it, and I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But you do agree that they have to live on the road because there's no other way they're making money because they're not making money from album sales anymore. So they have to be on the road.
Right. But also a lot of these bands, they have access to things that they never had before. They have access to a website where they can sell merch. They can sell discs like CDs, vinyl.
You mean right away to the Kiss Army or the War Army, whatever they are?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because right now as we're recording, Kiss is in the middle of a 24-hour 50% off flash sale where pretty much every single item I wanted was excluded from the sale.
Yeah. Or, you get the stuff that's like, oh, you don't want to buy this Tommy Thayer's face on a Destroyer album cover t-shirt.
Right. Right.
Come on.
But I think bands have access to different things that they never had to compensate for things like streaming, with like having websites, being able to buy a t-shirt, or, I mean, look at, even when we see a band like Fozzy, okay, we love Jericho, we love Fozzy. There's a merch booth there. They're selling t-shirts and hats and hoodies and pullovers and CDs. And that's, I
don't know. I'm guessing if they make $1,000 from that, aren't they lucky? How much do you think they're making from that?
I don't know, but I'm just saying, I think that's a way for them. Is it compensating for streaming? No, but I think altogether, look, I guess the bottom line I'm saying is I really think the streaming thing is overblown. I think it's not the same as it used to be, but music isn't the same as it used to be. And for all the negative things, this is when we started talking or, discussing. I said, for all the negative things that streaming may have done for some legacy acts I think it flips the script for newer bands. The ability to discover new bands, the ability to be like, hey, you know what? My friend mentioned this band. I'm going to check them out. Oh, they're on Spotify. I'm going to listen out. That's pretty awesome. I like that. Okay, now maybe you'll buy merch. Maybe you'll buy a ticket the next time they come into your town.
I guess the way I look at it is it's a worse model than Amazon is to the small businesses. Spotify's killed everything. I just feel like they're because
what do you mean by kill? When you say kill, what
meaning
killed
like
what?
record sales, record stores and stuff are
yes.
the things that we loved going. Do you remember what it was like in 91 or 92 to go to the Tower Records in in Burlington near the mall?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Do you remember fucking just like, what am I getting today?
Yes.
Oh shit. I didn't realize Smashing Pumpkins had an album out before Siamese Dream. Holy shit. Oh, I didn't know this. This is even before the internet really took off. So, I mean, that fucking joy is gone. And never mind for all you vinyl lovers, that joy of flipping through and seeing aisles and aisles of stuff not used and resold shit. And you have to, is this all scratch? I'm talking about like brand new. And you have this variety. And it was like heaven.
I'm with you. I miss record stores. I miss going to Blockbuster on a Friday night and picking. I miss all it because it was an experience. But if you're talking about the actual product itself, I miss that. It's gone. We can never get it back. But I'm okay with the ability now to be like, you know what? I'm going to put Metallica on shuffle. Actually, you know what? No, I don't want to do. I want to listen to friggin' Snoop Dogg on shuffle. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make a playlist with Snoop Dogg and Metallica together so I can listen to both at the same time. Like having that freedom, that ability to be able to, and then listen to a playlist where you can like, here's a playlist that's based on the stuff you like. You might discover new artists. I think it opens up doors that you never had before. Now, I know you'd go to Tower Records and you'd be like, new this week, and you'd see a CD, and because that happened to me before. Do you remember the Tower Records, how they would have those listening booths? You could you could be like, oh, this sounds pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna get this. Like that was cool.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit though. I would just buy it. Like, oh, this looks cool. I hope I like it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And just waste money left and right on CDs and shit. But the other aspect of this is, I have a problem of the greed of the owner of Spotify being like a fucking huge billionaire, and the artists are making shit. I think the pricing, now you may say, well, it's for the consumer. You've done a huge consumer product. They're getting paid. You may not like the split, but you're getting paid. Yeah. And the consumer has this new luxury because of modern technology that all these music and musicians are at your fingertip. Okay, great. Right. Then they should be getting a better split.
I agree with that. I agree the split should be better. I do.
The most miserable man in all time, and I love him, Don Henley. What was the old Glenn Fry saying? There's nobody can take the fun out of a room faster than Don Henley.
Right.
Because he's so serious, and I'm an artist, and I'm an artist. Fucking hates his shit and testifies in Congress. Who's the guy? You know, the guy that has all the YouTube videos. He breaks down videos. Beatles, something his name is. Always is bitching about this stuff, about how artists and everything is, and how musicians are getting fucked, and you can't play anything. How YouTube, like, hey, I'm talking about something, how about its brilliance? I'm selling it.
Yep.
And you can't talk about it strict. It's written like they're strict about that, but they're not strict about payments. So it's a catch-22.
No, I agree that the pennies per stream. I agree that it's pretty much bullshit. Okay.
Yeah, and they should be getting paid more. So if they were getting paid more, then they could survive a little more. And then they could take a time on an album. Then they can make videos again. Remember videos? Like now it's just like, I got to get on tour to make money. And now all my t-shirts are now $75.
But you say that as if that's a bet. Don't we want our bands to tour so we can see them?
I'd like them to do whatever they want to do, not because they have to do it.
Well, how do we?
Because they need to make money.
But now we're making broad assumptions here. Now we're assuming that these bands. We're assuming that these bands don't want to tour, but they have to because they're getting fucked on Spotify.
Well, that's a lot of times that they're not making money off album sales. That's how I look at it.
Make better records. I'm kidding. That was a joke. It's
all good. It's all good. But my point is, like, if they had a better split, if they don't make 0.0002 per play.
Now, selfishly speaking, because I care about myself, fuck everybody else. $12.99 a month.
Mm-hmm.
My son and I are on it's called the Spotify Duo plan. 2 people under one roof get premium subscriptions to Spotify for $12.99 a month. So that now think of that. Okay, how selfishly that's an unbelievable deal.
Aren't you on Apple? I didn't know you got Spotify.
Well, yeah. I haven't gotten to those. I haven't gotten to this yet.
Yeah.
Apple Music jacked up their prices. The Apple Family Plan, they jacked up their prices. So I was like, what? Why am I paying all this? Everybody, my son keeps haunting me. Sonny keeps haunting me about Spotify. Everybody's like, Spotify. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to try it. So Michael and I, my son and I are now on Spotify. So my point is $12.99 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying, it's the equivalent of me buying one CD per month for a year, but I have access to like a billion songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome for me. But that's kind of
Columbia
a shitty
House.
It's kind of a shitty business model for a band.
Columbia House and everything else.
Right.
This is chode pandas behind these records. Yeah. It's just, again, they got to get a better payment system. Now, I'm not saying jack it up on us. I'm saying take a less cut and work them. You're still going to be making billions of dollars.
I just don't understand how you look at these artists. Again, somebody like Taylor Swift, like, because I know a lot of these bands held out for a while, and there were all these fights and all these riffs about the royalties and stuff. And I get it. I am surprised that there is not currently more fighting with Spotify about this.
Yeah, and it's very similar to sports unions, where the average players are the grunts that barely make any money.
Yep.
But then you have the Tom Brady's at the top are fighting in the union. Like Tom Brady's like, I don't want this season to end. I'm going to lose $20 million this season ends.
Right.
But the other guy's like, dude, I make $100,000. I pay for my own travel. I fucking barely have insurance. I can get cut and I make no money. Like, help me out.
So let me ask you
too much
this.
of a conflict there.
So let me ask you this. I know that this is different because this was stealing. When LimeWire and Napster existed, that was legitimately stealing.
Yeah,
and that's what Metallica. Their argument was that our music is being stolen, like literally stolen.
Yes,
but think about it. Were they kind of like ahead of the curve in terms of like? Obviously, Spotify, the music's not being stolen; they're getting money, and Spotify's charging a monthly fee. But like, it's almost like, hey, something's wrong here with what we're doing with our music now. You know what I mean?
I think maybe I'm wrong. So hopefully people that are listening that know more than us can talk about this.
Well, there's people who know more than us that are listening right now.
Well, I know that. That's not saying too much. But my point is, I think at that point, they're fucking stealing us. All right, we'll pay you a penny for every fucking song.
Exactly.
All right, we'll take it.
Right.
Rather than being like, fuck you, we're suing you for everything.
Right.
And no, you're going to pay us. Like, how did albums, how did it work before with the radio playing your song?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, you didn't know if a song was coming. So when we were younger, you'd have the record button on your little player going, waiting for a song to come on that you like. It's different. But how did they get paid? How did artists make money when radio disc jockeys got their albums?
Right.
There's got to be a different way that these guys can make more money. And there is a difference, you're right, between Taylor Swift and Tony's band Restrained. Right? How do you compare them in the market? So I don't know. There's got to be some sort of a middle ground.
I'm trying to figure out how, because there was a big issue with the way satellite radio worked with artists, Sirius XM, because Sirius XM is a monthly subscription model.
Yeah.
And every time, on Ozzy's Boneyard, every time they play Detroit Rock City, what does Kiss get for that? Do they get, because there's a royalty thing. Now, I know too that because I've been a satellite subscriber for like 15 years, I'll get stuff every few years or whatever being like, oh, your monthly fee is going up because the royalty rate has increased.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get into the weeds and bore people with numbers, but my point is, at least it appears that Sirius XM is trying to do something with their business model and the artists that are involved, whereas Spotify is like, fuck it, you're getting a penny.
Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I talked to you about it. I have a friend, James Johns, owns a couple of restaurants, and he started like, okay, you know what? I'll have a bar band come in. And then boom, somebody ratted him out. Next thing you know, he's getting a letter from BMG saying, like, you can't be playing. So he has to get a license from BMG.
Imagine.
And then boom, the other company finds out about it. And then like, oh, if they might play a song from us, so you have to get my license too, because there's 2 or 3 different ones. He's like, what the fuck?
I never knew that when a bar has a cover band come in, I'm like,
there's certain songs they can play now. Now you're gonna fucking flip through. Oh shit. I played Susie Q. Oh fuck, we're fucked.
John Fogerty's gonna knock down your door if you don't give him 3 cents.
Don't know who's responsible, who's the publisher on those. So how did that work?
Right.
And I'm sure the way that all those artists were getting pennies or something.
Yeah.
But the same way as people get paid scale when they work in the entertainment business, or they called in, or the actors, they get paid a certain percentage in the Screen Actors Guild. There's a rate there. And I feel as though the one rate that's way out of whack is all the streaming services. What do they get from that?
We talked to Tony too. Because if you go to a lot of bars and clubs now, they have those touch tunes, or those the internet-based jukeboxes now, where it's pretty much like having your phone at a jukebox. You can play any song you want. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a whole other thing. That's why it's like, get 3 songs for $5 or whatever fucking ridiculous deal.
Where does that go?
Right. So how does that all get broken out? Look, with everything being digital, everything is way more complicated. But I'm going to say, as a consumer, maybe you call me selfish, I don't know. As a consumer, I wouldn't want it any other way, because they're still making CDs for you. They're still producing vinyl for me, and I still get the best of both worlds. Okay. You said I teased you for old fashioned. Mm-hmm. My living room right now, I have a turntable, an amplifier, and racks of vinyl. My house looks like it's 1978 right now. Mm-hmm. But I enjoy.
Do you open a drawer to watch TV too?
Yeah. But same thing. I'm staring right behind you. You have your wall of CDs. So I feel good about where me and you are, because we're kind of double dipping. I mean, I know you don't stream, but I do. But we still support physical product.
We have it. I have a subscription. From time to time, I'll do it when you do an album review crew episode, and you're like, I picked this before the CD gets delivered. I'll go to Spotify and play.
And listen.
I fucking hate going to a different library than what I already have on my phone.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. When I buy the CD, we talk about this. I take the CD, I download it into my iTunes library, and then it's on my phone. I don't crack open my CD and put it in a CD player, but I like having a physical copy of it. I can look at it, can read the liner notes. I can do whatever I want with it. And then I have the luxury of having it portable, so I can listen to wherever I go. Yeah. So
I mean, I look at streaming from 2 different lenses. I look from the business model. Is it kind of shitty? Yeah, but I'm not a business guy. I don't really know everything about it in the weeds. I know that from what we've read and what we've heard and we've listened to other shows, it's probably not the best business model, but from a consumer perspective, it's a fucking dream come true. Just like when Netflix came out, we're like, holy fuck, this is absolute madness. I don't ever have to leave my house again.
I didn't like Netflix. I fucking hate that I got to scroll 50 fucking times to get through everything. Like, you only go to the first 3 pages, then you're like, all right, I'll play this.
No, I hate the fact that Netflix auto plays when you scroll through and you stop for more than 2 seconds. You get the start of the trail. I'm like, stop that. Although I think you could turn that off. But anyways.
But you get the point, right?
Yeah, of course. It's different. It's a different era. Everybody's got their opinions. I know that there are people that are vehemently anti-streaming, and okay, that's fine. A lot of bands used to be vehemently anti-streaming, and then they were like, you know what? We got to get on streaming, or what? Fucking.
Well, you gotta jump in regardless, because you can't just sit there and say, no, I'm not doing this at all. Well,
right.
Some people can afford to be that stubborn, others cannot.
I agree.
So,
yep.
All right. Well, Tom, I love the discussion. Till next time. Peace out, Girl Scout.